So you went from $120,000 of revenue a year to $3 million a year in 3 months.
That's correct.
Wow.
And I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either, by the way. Amazing.
Wild.
And
Just wild.
and what I know now about mindset that I didn't know then, and well, rather than state it, I'm going to ask you, what do you think the difference was?
But I'll tell you exactly what it is. The difference is that my value, I never knew what my value was until I applied it to my own business, man, and to my own vehicle. Do you understand?
So you
Because
got
I was making other people rich, dude. My talent was still at that company or all these other companies, but they were getting the benefit of my talent, like probably 50x, 100x, right?
At some point, you realize the numbers you're hitting aren't measuring the life you're living. Welcome to Quit the Quota. I'm Darryl Miedico.
And I am Marya Ryan. This is the podcast for professionals, especially sales professionals, who've done what they were supposed to do and still found themselves questioning whether that version of success really fits.
Each episode features honest conversations with people who stepped outside the traditional mold, along with reflections from our own years in the corporate world.
Quit the Quota isn't about quitting ambition. It's about defining success on your terms. Hi, hello everybody. This is Quit the Quota podcast number 2. I'm so excited. I'm Marya Ryan.
I'm Darryl Miedico. Marya, how are you doing today?
I'm doing so good.
Yeah.
I'm feeling so much better, to be honest with everyone listening. Like last week, I watched the video back and I was like, do I hold my head that way? Do I close my eyes like that? It was really kind of funny to have me see it.
Did you watch the video? I didn't even watch the video.
I did. I watched the video. Well, I'm a little anal retentive like that.
How did I look? Everything came out okay?
Phenomenal, always. Phenomenal, glowing, perfect. That beautiful Italian skin of yours just shining through.
all that olive oil, I'm sure.
That's great. That's great.
So what you been up to this week? What's going on in your world?
So, just a ton of stuff, obviously for Quit the Quota, just really fun and exciting things, working with some new clients and also Stay Space. We've had some awesome conversations with potential new clients there too. But also really working on myself and my mindset and growing and so just all good stuff.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now,
what about yourself?
I mean, a lot of the same stuff we're working on together, obviously, for
Really?
Stay Space, but and then Quit the Quota. But then in addition to that, I mean, oh boy, this week tons of sports. Cooper had a bunch of basketball games.
Awesome.
He had a game in which the team didn't look all that great, and then they responded last night, and they had a dominating, vicious win. It just was. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, they remember. They remember how to play basketball. Okay.
Yeah.
Like they were two different teams. They looked phenomenal actually last night. So that's
a lot of fun for us as parents. I am that parent, by the way. I am the parent that you can hear from the other side, and I lose my voice and I go a little bonkers. I'm sure my son's like, stop it.
Yeah. It's awesome. And I mean, and the whole purpose of this show that we're producing here, right, is like I can go to every single game, and it's so cool to do. I'm so blessed to be able to do that. I don't have a boss. I don't have anybody over my shoulder saying like, oh, it's 3:00. You can't leave the office. Or even if they say you can leave, giving me the side eye, right? It's just, it's fantastic.
100%. That's a huge blessing. And me too now. I mean, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was really one. I didn't think I was like, being in sales before, like, it is an entrepreneurial spirit to some degree, but this is a very cool, like, thing that, when I really sit down and think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm actually an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
What? That's really cool.
I mean, earlier this week, was it last week? I think it was this week. You were moving your daughter back into school, right?
Right.
And you hit me up. You're like, hey, I'm not making a couple of meetings today.
Yep.
I got that, and we're like, cool, no big deal. You're good.
Amazing. Couldn't do that before.
Nope.
Or it would take weeks of planning. Right. Where you have to like let everybody know at least a month in advance and all of that baloney. It's awesome. All right. So today is not just Darryl and I talking, although I'm sure you all are enjoying every second of this. What is today? Today is our first guest. I'm so excited. Who do we have coming to talk to us in a minute?
I am super excited to welcome him into the room here in a minute. It's a great friend of mine from earlier in my career as a salesperson. Um,
Awesome.
and we worked together in multiple jobs
Yep.
in sales, and he left his W-2, his sales career, before I left mine. And you'll get to hear today in our discussion with him that he was a lot, if not, I'm not gonna say all of it, because I had these inklings before I met him, but he
Sure.
was a lot of like the inspiration that, like, oh, I can do it. I
Right.
got to see somebody else do it. And that's what a lot of this podcast is for, is just to tell the
Right.
stories and share the mindset that it takes to make this happen. So I'm super excited to welcome him in today. Great friend of
Awesome.
mine. It's Mark Vaudreuil. So
Awesome.
I'm really excited, and we're going to go deep. We're going to go really deep today
Love
on
it.
what his fears were, and what he's doing now, what he was excited
Fantastic.
about, and what went well, what didn't go well. We're going to go through all of it.
Super excited. I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people. So I'm excited to bring him on. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's bring
All
him
right,
in.
cool.
And here I am.
And here he is.
And here he is.
You're
I love
back.
this guy so much. Now, just for everyone watching, right? For some of you will know Mark, because you're probably looking and you're watching this podcast because I've shared it, right? But so you're like, oh yeah, I know Mark. That's exactly Mark right there. When he comes, and here I am, and that's like I love it so much. What's going on, Mark? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing awesome. Good to see you guys. Glad to see you doing well, Darryl. It makes me happy to see that, man.
It's great to see you, and thank you so much. We were just saying how super excited we are to have you on the show today, to have you on the podcast, and I think I'd love to start. I gave a quick, brief introduction of just how I know you and how we came to meet and become introduced, and we worked together a couple gigs,
Yep.
but I didn't go any deeper than that. So would love if you could just kind of share who you are, what you're about, and just kind of give the audience a quick introduction to who is Mark Vaudreuil.
Well, it all started back in 1960, Darryl. I'll take you way back. We'll start with when I was Well, when we first met, we met at Dine, right?
Yes.
And how long ago was that? You got
Oh my God,
I don't know
dude.
if everybody knows what Dine was. I don't even know if I know what Dine was.
No. I mean, most people don't know what Dine was. No, so I started at Dine in at the end of 2011, beginning of 2012.
Yeah.
And I don't you came shortly after. I want to say maybe a year after, 2013, maybe ish.
Yeah.
That sound about right? So
Something like that. But I came in there and they recruited me as like a hired gun, right, to come in and straighten out the SDR team. They had
yeah.
with a hired gun role. It was like come in and uh, you know, whip together the SDR team and get them on KPIs. There were no KPIs on the team, right? So I had to like get it together, and I worked with some really good people there. Some good people.
We had a great company there.
Yeah,
Lots of entrepreneurial spirit, and
for sure. Yep.
and yeah, no. So yeah, no. I mean, quickly, just for the audience, right? I mean, I think you came aboard there because you had a very successful history with SDR, BDR leadership. Prior to that.
Yep.
Right? I mean, just kind of walk us through real quick, just like your background, your history, kind of like leading up to that point.
What was I before that? I was with okay, so I was with a company called Knowledge Vision, and an ex-Knowledge Vision employee came to work at Dine, and they recruited me in, right, to Dine. But I was managing an SDR team at Knowledge Vision. Why are you laughing about this story, Darryl? Do you think this?
I'm smiling. I'm not laughing.
I haven't even got to my best jokes yet. You're already laughing. Okay, so we went to Knowledge Vision. I was at Knowledge Vision. Before that, I was at Brain Shark doing the same thing.
Yep.
But before that, if you go way back, I had my own company before. I tried to like make it work, and it didn't work. Do you know what I mean? So I was doing what was I doing? I was doing arbitration, and I was doing, believe it or not, I was doing private investigative work, Darryl. It's probably something you didn't even know.
I never knew that.
Right, so I was doing
That's another podcast right there.
doing stuff like that, but it was really dark. It was a dark job. I didn't like it, So, but anyway, I'm a salesperson. That's just who I am. Do you know what I mean? so I figured, you know what, I'd be really good at the phone. I think I could be good at the phone, and then I gravitated into corporate that way, right? And the last time when I was at Dine, we had well, geez, I don't want to get into politics, like what happened at Dine, man. Do you know what I mean?
You can
Because I love
leave.
everybody. Even though like I love everybody, I'm going to say, look, if you're watching this, I love you at Dine, okay? I'm not going to
Talk
say
through
anything
all.
bad about anybody. All right?
No, you don't have to talk through all the stuff that you enjoy. But so my whole take on this is that how I'm going to go about it, because there's tons of positive stories that have made me who I am.
Yeah.
Right, I've got a ton of people to thank, and I will thank during this podcast. Right, not this specific one, but all the ones that we record. But of course, I've had a lot of learning lessons too. Right, of I don't quite want to be like that person, or I want to do things a little bit differently when I start my own company.
Okay.
And when I have those lessons that I've learned, I'm just not going to share names. Like, that's all. No big deal. Like, I respect everyone enough not to do that. So
I'll just call them learning lessons from now on.
That's
I had
it.
a couple learning lessons at Dine.
Perfect.
Yep. And then after, and then after Dine, we got to work again together.
Yeah. Now that's a different story, right? So let's talk about that.
Okay? Yeah.
So I was at Dine, and I was so I was crushing my numbers, and I was killing it. I had a really good performance, right? I was crushing it, and we had different dynamics enter the company. Do you remember? We had they hired another CRO into the company.
Yep.
I'm not going to mention any
different
names,
leadership,
but he sort of liked me.
Different leadership.
Yeah, he sort of liked me, right? He liked me. He was trying to take me under his wing and everything, right? But at that time, I was reporting to marketing, and I don't think they liked it too much. That I still love everybody at Dine, all the marketing people. Don't worry.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, so I got caught up in a political problem there, like a political issue, and they let me go. And I was like what? What? I remember driving home that day going, I pulled over and I was like pinching myself. I go, wait a minute, am I dreaming? Did this really freaking happen? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was terrifying. You know, it was terrifying. That day was terrifying. And like I went on some job interviews and things. I was like, shit, man, what? Well, you might want to cut that out too.
It's okay.
Small one.
Sorry.
But like for 2 weeks, right? I was like doing interviews and they weren't going well. And then guess what? You called me, man. Right? And you said, guess what? And I said, what? And you said, you're going to be the SDR director at another company. And I said, yes, I am. Yes, I am going to be that. Right?
That's awesome.
Well, we worked together for multiple years. Yeah. I knew you did great work. I knew you were a quality guy, and I, we got along really well. And I was over there. And then once you hit the open market, right? Like, I'm like, oh, I want to work with Mark again. I'm like, I heard it through the grapevine. I'm like, it shocked me because you were killing your number. You were just doing an outstanding job. Everyone liked the work that you were doing. And when I'm like, oh yeah. And at the time, the guy that I was reporting to, he's like, we need someone. I'm like, I got the guy. He just hit the market.
It worked out really well. Like we came in, we built out an office in North Andover, right? You and I built it out. We did all the hiring, all the initial first round hiring for that office. Yeah.
We didn't even have an office. Remember when we were first started the hiring, we didn't even have an office.
It was just like some little closet in the wall. Yeah.
We were doing our interviewing in Starbucks, and we were like, I promise there's an office. I promise we are a real company.
But that was sort of cool, man. Right. And then the next thing you know, we're in New York City.
Yep.
Right. We went to all of a sudden we're in New York City doing business, and like, it was awesome. Right.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a good time.
And we did really great there. We had a great leader, right? Yeah. We had a great leader who supported us.
Totally.
That we had a great product. It was a great gig. But then again, like what I found like kind of interesting there, as you were going through it a little bit, was like the leadership component of it, right? It matters so much, and things change so much in the corporate world.
Right, you
right?
could be
So
crushing
like
it,
like like
like you're
you could be
saying.
crushing it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
could be crushing it, and you could be having a phenomenal track record with a leader who trusts you, and you're empowered, and you're absolutely destroying it like we were. And then all of a sudden, the leadership changes for whatever reason, right? Maybe there's you know, um, you know, uh, a demand by one of the investors. Maybe you're public, and there's something that's shifting the focus of the business. It could be anything. And then now your leader makes a decision that, hey, this is no longer the right place for me. And then stuff shifts, stuff moves around, and then it leaves you in a spot where somebody new has a new vision, and things can change quick. They
not
can
only
change on a
that,
dime, unfortunately.
re-interviewing for your role, even though you're crushing your numbers with a new.
Yeah, yeah,
That's exactly what
yeah,
happened to us. We had a new CRO come in,
yeah.
and now I'm like, I remember going back to, remember we had to go back to New York, and we're re-interviewing for our jobs again with this new CRO. Do you remember that day?
I remember that day.
We were in
I
like
remember
a
that day.
boardroom in New York City, like we're like, okay, now we gotta, and
Yeah,
and not only that, they bring their team in, right? So
Yeah.
right, they bring their team in, and there was a sales guy that was his buddy that was sitting with
yeah,
him, and he's interviewing us. And I'm saying,
yeah.
why do I have to like friggin' talk to this little guy here? You know?
It felt like Office Space for those that have seen the movie, and I'm sitting across from the Bobs,
Yes.
and they were like, and what would you say you do here? I'm like,
Yeah.
I run the sales team. What do you mean? What do I do here? Like,
Right. So
so
that's when you
so
decided to, like, you started getting ideas like I'm out of here after that. That's when it started lit the fuse for you.
yeah, yeah. So for me, just so everyone for the audience right now, at that particular moment, I started to say, well, this job doesn't feel like it's the right fit for me anymore.
Yeah.
And it typically always goes back to a leader, right? And that's like that's if you find a great leader, if you have a great leader in your current W-2, I know a lot of this podcast is going to be all about, that there's a life of entrepreneurship, right? And I'm going to continue to beat that drum and say how amazing it is when you get there. And Mark's going to talk about his entrepreneurial journey very soon. But if you have a great leader, I do want to talk about this. That's gold. A great leader who understands you, who empowers you, who trusts you, right? That's gold. So if you have a great leader, and you're kind of like, I don't know if the entrepreneurial thing is right for me, or you're not right for me. All I would say to that is really make sure that you get in touch of what you want to do and what's going to make you passionate and what you love, and let that lead you to your decision. But great leaders are hard to come by. So I'll just leave it at that for now.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, for me, Mark, yeah, no, it was at that point I said, oh, I got to go, I got to look around. I picked up another gig. It wasn't the right gig. And that was a shame on me. I just didn't do a good enough job in the interview process. I should have done a better job, me interviewing the company, and making sure it was the right fit. That's on me. That wasn't on them. And then I landed at, I landed at the new spot. What happened after that? No, okay, yeah. Then I left that. I went to another spot, and then COVID hit, and I was doing really well at that second gig that I went off to, and then COVID hit, and I was laid off, and all that same thing that you just said, where you're driving home, and I didn't have to drive home because it was a remote job, but like, and you had that. Is this real? Like,
Yeah.
and it was scary, and it was terrifying, and all those emotions.
Yeah.
I had those exact same emotions, right? That you went through. And for me, it was in that moment over a 2-day period that I said, never again. I said, never again am I going to be in a position where I put my entire reliance on someone else or something else, another entity, another business. And that's when I reached out to you. And I said, hey, because at the time you were kind of dabbling
Dude,
with a little
I
side
was
hustle.
freaking crushing it during that time.
You were
I was
dabbling with a
like,
little
I'm
side
not
hustle. And I
dabbling,
knew
man. I was making big, huge paydays every day because of COVID.
I
Because I'm like,
and
so guys, you'll know later, right? So I do a lot of online sales marketing, right? So everybody was staying home, and they were just buying my stuff left and right at like honestly $25,000 a day profit.
Amazing.
Unreal.
Seriously.
Amazing.
I come downstairs and tell my wife, I go, hey, like it's noon. I'm going, not gonna believe this. So I already made 15 grand and it's only noon. And
So I knew,
Phenomenal.
she would say, well, I guess we need the money. I said, yes, we do
Yeah,
need the money.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
so I knew you, I forget. I mean, we kept in touch. So I knew you were having that, a level of success. And I reached out to you and I said, hey, I want to learn that, I want to learn what you're doing. And I found that I just wasn't in love with it. And I wasn't as passionate as I went through that first boot camp as you were. But while I was doing it, I came across the line of work that I'm in now, and I just committed to making the jump. I committed to the jump of going for it. So I want to kind of go back a little bit, if we could, for your journey, because we're not you're on the show today. It's not about me.
All right.
When when did you make the decision to start exploring a side hustle, and why?
I'll tell you exactly when it happened. It happened in that New York City meeting, buddy.
Yep.
That's when it happened. I
Pivotal
was like,
moment.
uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because then the realization came, right? Then I'm in my mid 50s, right? Like 55 maybe, saying, okay, I'm not going, like they're gonna, like, okay, now you're dealing with ageism. That's a different topic, right? I mean, that exists in the marketplace, and like the job marketplace, it's big time. So I was thinking to myself, well, I have to like win this guy over, and which I did. I bought myself a couple more years, I think 2 or 3 more years there. But during that time, I was like, now I got to learn something, man, because I am not going back to corporate. I'm not going to interview for another job. This is the last one. Now I'm going to like dive down heavy and find people that can teach me how to make money online. I just completely committed myself to that then, because it was almost obsessive at that point after that meeting, to where I started like going to online classes, paying for courses, taking different types of mastermind courses to learn it. And
Yep.
because I knew,
Phenomenal.
dude, I knew they were going to shut down North Andover, which was the satellite office for
Yep.
that company. So corporate was. Did you ever go out to corporate in California, Darryl? Did you ever go out there?
I was gone before then.
Okay, so they were starting to bring people out there, right? So then,
Yeah.
every quarter we'd go out to California, right? So we'd do
Yep.
meetings out there, and you could see the handwriting on the wall that they were staging it to where they were going to try to sell it. You could see it. If you had any experience, you'd know they're getting ready to sell the company, right? So I'm saying, okay, they're going to shut down North Andover probably within, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year, and I'm just going to like continue to just ride it out. I'm going to, keep managing the team, keep hitting my numbers. And when they shut down the office, they're going to have to pay me. They're going to have to give me a payout because I'm not quitting. Do you know what I mean? And that was my strategy. And I had all this. Then by that time, I had my online business going, dude, right? That was already going, right? I was making money, right? But this is the interesting thing. It wasn't making a full-time income to where I could just rely on it, right? Because all of my energy was focused on making this company rich, right? I was putting all my talents into making somebody else rich, right? That's what happened, right? So eventually they fired that CRO, and then they put someone in marketing above us, and that was not good, man. And I said, now I know that they're going to shut the office down, right? So like 4 months later, they did. They walked in, shut it down, and I settled on a package with them, and I left. And even then, even at that time, I wasn't completely like 100% devoted to like my business, even though I had it, because we get these feelings like, okay, if you've been working in corporate for so long, you feel like they're taking care of you, right? Like you have the insurance, like it's what is it, $2,000 a month, right? So
Yeah.
you feel like okay, I was being taken care of. You have this mental almost I guess it's a reliability thing, or I don't know what it is, but there's that feeling there. So I went out and I did a couple interviews, and I went on an interview for an SDR director job, man. and the VP of sales was a dick, dude. He was a like right, and he was like just unbelievable. And he's asked right. I went through. It's one of these interviews to where you have to go through. I probably sat down with 7 people that day, and he was the last one, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else
Yeah.
loved me, man. Everybody else loved
Yeah.
me, right? But this guy's like a
Loved
dick.
him.
He's a dick, right? And he's like, so Darryl, right?
His name was Richard, right? That's why we're calling him Dick. So
So, he's like, it was a 12 a 12 SDR team, 12 people, and he goes, okay, okay, I think we're gonna hire you. He goes, but one last question. I go, what's that? He goes, how do you feel about hitting the phones with the SDRs? I go, that's not gonna happen. I'm not making calls. I said, I manage the team. He goes, you mean you're not gonna make calls with the SDRs? I go, that's right. He goes, well, I think we're done here. I go, you're damn right we're done here. And I got out and walked out. Then I was driving home, and I said, that's it.
Yep.
Done.
So
I'm done. I'm done.
Let me
No more.
let me explore that for a minute, because you were kind of up at, like, let's pretend for a moment that you didn't have your side hustle, right? At this time, it was a side hustle. Now it's your full-time career. But like, let's
That would have been
assume
bad.
for a minute. So the question is, right, is you would have been in a position, I believe, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
I would have
just
been making
confirm
calls.
it or say no. When he says to you, you're going to make some calls, right?
Right.
Do you sell a bit of your soul there? Do you say, yeah, I make
I
calls?
would have had to make the calls, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have.
So
Sell your soul. Great way to put it.
So
Yep.
so this is an important thing, like, and this is the reality of it. And I'm so happy you're sharing this part of your story. I'm learning this today too. We find, at least for me in corporate America, when I was part of corporate, I had to sell my soul numerous times.
Sure.
And that may be like over dramatic to some on this call, but some are probably are not on the call, but listen to the podcast. That may be a little bit over dramatic to some, although I think most are going to understand exactly what I'm talking about. That there's certain
And
things
some haven't realized it.
or some haven't realized it. There's certain things that you just wouldn't do otherwise. Like, you push harder on a deal when you know the deal doesn't quite fit because you got to make your number. Or when leadership comes to you and says, hey, you don't mind working on Saturday, even though your kid's ball game is on Saturday. You're like, oh, I need this job right now, or I need the overtime, or whatever, like whatever's going on in your life, right? So it's like, yeah, okay. Every time you do that, you sell a little bit of your soul. Yeah. And we sell it in the return of security. And everybody on this podcast right now had the security ripped out from underneath them at some point in their career.
The amazing thing is, like, it's all like, once you go through it, right? So once you go through it and the dust settles out of an event like that, if you have like I had that backup plan because I knew it was going to happen, right? Guys, if anybody's watching this podcast right now and you have a corporate job and in your 50s, and if you don't have a backup plan, you better get one right after this. I'm telling you right now.
It's interesting.
It's interesting
because Mark, you leaned into your intuition there. Yeah. You felt it in that meeting. You were like, nope, something bad is coming down the pike. Yep. And you were like, I need to start testing the waters. And what's funny is it ties into the fact that you knew it was coming, the intuition. But what I love so much about this part of the conversation is we've all just mentioned that false sense of security that you can have in a W-2, that people are so scared to do the next thing because they think that's secure, not secure. And it's hilarious to me because we've all been in the same position where I was not secure at all. Oh, you have a salary. Oh, you have the insurance. Oh, you have this or that. Yeah. Until like that. And then they're like, oh, you're no longer here.
Good, talented people that hit their numbers every day, that went through and worked their ass off in college, went through and played the game like they were told they were supposed to play the game, are getting hosed left and right. Right? Yeah. Left and right. It's bad. Exactly now, let's talk about the good news, right? So right after that, so I say, that's it, right? And then I had a decent enough package to pay for like 4 months insurance. I think I had like 4 months insurance I could pay for like
So
October,
you had like a 4-month runway.
something like that.
I love it. I
Right.
love it. Just like so you had 4 months to like make the dream happen and get your
I already had
entrepreneur.
the company, my LLC was there and everything, right? I had it all,
Yep.
right? So then I was like making money anyway, but then I started focusing 100% on my company. Wake up every morning, start working. There was a time there was like a hangover effect after I realized that I wasn't going to be working in corporate anymore. Like I was like, oh man, like you go through this thing to where it's almost like a divorce type of thing. It's like a mourning period. I
Yeah.
went through that mourning period, but then after I
I,
came,
di- so
what?
I didn't go through the mourning period. Once I left, I was like I was like the 40-year-old ex-wife or ex-husband that was just like, I am free. I am out of here.
I went through the mourning period multiple times because, like you just shared, Mark, that so many people are getting hosed. I tied a little bit too much of my identity
Sure,
to that role
of course
or
you did.
those roles.
Of course you
And
did.
then when they said goodbye, it was like, you took it more personal. Oh, it's just business. Nothing personal. Screw you. It is personal. It impacts my family. It impacts my life.
Yeah. So
Yes.
another piece of advice, right? Like for everybody that's watching this, that's maybe in corporate, that is wants to deploy a similar strategy like I did. Like if you know your office is going to shut down at some point, right? Don't quit. Like if you're a good employee, don't quit.
Right.
Make them pay you. And what they're going to do is they're going to come up with a form. They're going to give you a form and say, okay, we'll give you this severance package if you sign right here. You're not going to sign right on the spot. You're going to say, no, let me take that home for a while. And
Great
then you're going to call
advice.
them back and say, yeah, this severance package doesn't look so good to me. Let's do this number instead. That's what I want you to
Let's do
Great,
this.
great advice.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Dude, in my sales coaching, those are 3 special words that I say over and over
All
Do
again
this.
the
to my
All the
coaching
time.
time.
students.
Totally. But
Let's
they're
do
not,
this.
they're petrified of you going
Yeah.
to an employment lawyer, right? They're petrified of it because now it's like the deck is stacked against them on that.
Yep.
So just take that
Mhm.
for a little tip. But anyway, so do you remember what our quota was? Do you remember what your quota was inside of that company every year? I do. It was $2.5 million we had to do
I think it was.
in
I
that
think it
office.
was.
Okay, how many people did we have in that office?
I had 10. I had 10 reporting up to me at the time.
And how many
You had
FTRs?
10 also.
20
You had 10.
people. Okay, so
You had
22
20.
people in that office.
Yep.
And we had to generate 2.5 million, right?
Yep.
So I left corporate in October, right? By
Mhm.
January, I was hitting $3 million.
Look at that.
One
Look at
person.
that.
Unbelievable.
One person.
Look at that. Now,
What
now, now, prior,
October to January,
so
$3 million in revenue. It was like, what?
so
What?
October to January, $3 million in revenue. Up until that point, up until October, what was your revenue roughly in the
Oh,
business?
not much, man. Not much. It was like I was
Like what?
probably making I don't know, I was probably making maybe $1,500 to an extra 1,500 a month.
Okay. So revenue would have been what, like double that maybe roughly? I'm just spitballing
Oh
right
yeah. Oh,
now.
the total revenue was probably about 20,000. Let me think
Okay.
about it. Maybe less than that. It's probably about 10,000. Not much,
A
man.
month?
Yeah,
10,000 a month. So you went from $120,000 of revenue a year to $3 million a year in 3 months.
that's correct.
Wow.
And I mean, amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either, by the way. Amazing.
Wild.
And
Just wild.
and what I know now about mindset that I didn't know then, and well, rather than state it, I'm going to ask you, what do you think the difference was?
But I'll tell you exactly what it is. The difference is that my value, I never knew what my value was until I applied it to my own business, man, into my own vehicle. Do you understand?
So you
Because I
got
was making other people rich, dude. My talent was still at that company or all these other companies, but they were getting the benefit of my talent like probably 50x, 100x, right?
Yep.
Then I put it into a vehicle, and that the vehicle actually was a good vehicle to be in at that time, right? It still is, right? So so put the talent in the vehicle and it just took off. It exploded.
So you were able to, instead of being split with your time, you were able to be dedicated and focused on building for you and
Yes,
only you.
that's right. And then I was
And
able to go out to events. I was able to fly out to events, right? Like
yep,
different events and make contacts with people that were in the same type of business. And I, started forming partnerships and started making, dude, like
yep.
the following year was
You
huge.
could,
10 million,
you could put
yeah, $10 million in revenue in that following year.
look at that exponential
Real.
growth. Exponential.
Yeah.
So you went from splitting your time between corporate and your side hustle that was making you on the revenue end about $120,000 a year. Then you separate ways from that company that you were at.
Yep.
You only had 120 in revenue, and then in 3 months, you only had a 4-month runway. In 3 months, you went from $120,000 of revenue to $3 million in
Right.
revenue.
That's right.
His own income became the quota, above
And,
the quota.
and the reason that this happened, there's undoubted, there's science to it. You removed the safety net. You knew you no longer had a safety net.
Yep.
You had 4 months
I had
to
to do
make it happen, and you put all your time, attention, and effort into it.
But the biggest reason that it happened, yeah, that's the catalyst, right? But the biggest reason is mindset, man, because I could have had all the all of these reasons to succeed, but if I didn't think I could do it, or if I didn't believe in myself, or if I didn't like, if I had bad self talk, or if I was like doubting myself, or if I didn't like look at like somebody that was making this type of money and say, if I didn't have role models, I had role models, right? I knew people. I went out to events and I saw people that were doing these numbers, and I said, well, if this guy can do it, I can do it, dude. I met one
I love
kid,
it.
man. I met a kid at an event. He was like 15, and we were talking. I said, well, I go, what brings you here to this event? And he goes, oh, I have like a funnel that's doing really well online. I go, you do? I go, what is it? And he goes, oh, I'm selling Lego plans. So he would like digital Lego plans, and he was making like $3 million a year. And I'm like,
That's
$3 million
15-year-old.
a year, man. And he's 15. And I'm like,
I,
what?
I think my I think my youngest son Bryce has probably bought Lego plans off of him.
That's right.
Online, you just buy them.
Yeah, I mean, well, Bryce loves Lego, so if he hasn't bought them, he's gonna buy. He will at some point. That's awesome. That's wild.
So that's the thing, right? Like, and now this is all before AI, by the way, right? This is all now
Yes,
with
yes,
AI, man. I don't know how often you guys are on AI. I live in it, right? So we're
yeah,
building,
yes.
we live in it, and
Um,
the best thing about
so,
AI for us right now is the ability to find problems, right? We use AI to find problems in the marketplace, and then create digital products to solve those problems, right? So now it's easier than ever to identify problems that can be solved through a digital product that people would gladly pay money for. So um, it's wonderful, man. Like we could like there's so many problems. Like one big product that we had just launched. I launched with a student. One of my students just recently is like how to all digital, by the way, right? How to reduce electricity costs, how to reduce power costs, right?
okay.
And she's selling it online right now for $37. It's her product. She owns it. 37 bucks. They buy the product and they get hit with like 2 or 3 upsells before it's over, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? You
Yeah.
buy
Oh
it,
yeah.
add the cart, then it goes, hey,
Yep. Yeah.
you're not now like learn how to make sure that your windows are sealed correctly or whatever. Like here's another,
Yeah.
30 and then another 30. So she's got an average order value on this right now of about $180, and she's doubling her money, right? So she pays for advertising. For instance, if she pays $500 a day for advertising, she's making $1,000. Well, she's getting $1,000 back in revenue. So she's effectively just
She,
doubling her. She's printing
she's
money.
profiting $500 a day
She's printing money, man.
On that product. Yep. Yep.
She's
Amazing.
printing it.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
she just by this particular strategy for her, she's profiting $3,500 a week.
Thanks to me.
Thanks to you.
That's right. Don't forget that.
Outstanding. I'll never. Well, I mean, I thank you. I thank you for giving me the motivation. So, to your point about the mindset of this, which I loved that you're talking about that and getting into that, right? It's like nothing about you personally, like your skill set and your personality, right? Nothing about you has changed. I mean, we haven't spoken in a few months. I called you a week ago to hop on this thing. You're like, absolutely, dude. And we were chalking it up real quick, and we're talking just like we did back in our days working together, right? So the personality, the person that you are, nothing's changed. The things that really changed for you are, at least as I can see it, is number one, you had a major emotional event,
Yep.
right? So it caused you, it was the catalyst to make a decision, which human beings are horrible at making decisions. So, thankfully you had that. And when I was laid off, I make the statement that COVID-19 and being laid off at the time, I thought was the worst thing that could ever happen. It actually ended up being the best thing that could have
Totally.
ever happened to me.
Totally.
So you had the major emotional event. Then you had a situation where now you had a runway, like I have to get it done in this time. Then you bet on yourself, right? And you get your mind right, and you're like, I'm just going to work for myself, and you kick some butt and you take some names. I'm curious, during that time, for you personally, can you think of maybe one or two times where you started to think, oh, maybe this is the wrong fit? Like, oh, this isn't going the way that I thought it was going to go, or this is really hard. I'm not making the money I thought I was going to make. Did you have
Yeah,
anything like
definitely.
that? And,
So,
and, and and
okay,
walk me
so
through that.
one thing, yeah, I mean, of course, so there were one day I woke up and all my accounts were shut down. How's that?
That sounds pretty big to me.
That's pretty huge.
Right? So
So
Facebook
so
Facebook
so
had
so
like
what
a
happened?
policy. Yep. So Facebook had a policy change. They said, well, we're just shutting everything down. So I don't know if you guys know what that means. So when you run Facebook ads, you have a business manager, right? And in that business manager, they give you a certain amount of accounts. And I was running offers at that time for weight loss, and then Facebook changed their policy against health, and they just started shutting everybody's accounts down that was running health offers, right? So I woke
Wow.
up and all of my accounts were frozen, dude. I couldn't do any business, right? But, but, but I had an email list built, right?
Oh, key.
So what you don't want to do, right, is you don't want to like run ads without collecting emails, right? So I had a massive email list built, right? So 400,000 people that had bought before. So I could reach out to my audience and send offers to them via email and still make money while I was solving that problem. But what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, I mean, there were times to where like I've had unlimited credit guys. Like, so Amex will give me, at one point, they had given me unlimited amounts of credit. So I could literally run 2 million, $3 million worth of ads a week
Wow.
Wow.
on their
That's crazy.
on their
On
dime.
their dime.
Wow.
All I cared about is that they're getting paid back.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. One day, they said, well, you know what? We're going to pull back credit on, this is just like, well, this is when Biden was in office. They decided to pull back credit because of the economy. And it was a little sketchy. They didn't know if it made sense to extend people credit like that. And that sort of like hurt us a little bit. Right. But listen, there are good times in being an entrepreneur. I've done very well. Okay. But there are great times, and there are times to where you're like staring down the abyss, chewing glass, you know what I mean? You're looking down the abyss, having a glass sandwich, you know?
I know exactly what you
You
mean.
know what I mean?
And
But
I
the
like
bottom
that.
line is this. The bottom line is this. You're going to be eating that glass sandwich and looking down the abyss at corporate too, man. So you may as
yep.
well
Right.
be doing it on your own. You may as well be fighting on your own because you're fighting inside corporate. You may as well be fighting on your own because you guys, you really don't even understand what you're capable of until you go out there and make it happen. You just don't know what you can do. You just don't know what you
Yes.
can do, right?
Yes.
You
Can I
don't know.
ask Can tying that into you mentioned a little bit earlier, and I think there's probably people on here because I know I've been in this place before, and Darryl knows this because we talked about it a couple years ago. You mentioned if you didn't have the mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, someone's on this call listening or listening on this call on this podcast listening to us
I say
going
the same thing, podcast.
podcast. I'm so used to being on, other calls. Anyways, someone is sitting here right now and they're in that place. They're eating the glass sandwich,
Yeah.
shooting down the abyss. And they're hearing you say, okay, great, but where do I get this mindset? How do I develop it if I don't have it? Because I don't think I have it.
It's habits, right? So what my habit is every morning is that I get up and I make coffee and I turn on YouTube. And if you looked at my YouTube channel, man, you just see like all of this positive stuff on there that I'm watching, right? You're like,
Awesome.
that's it, because you could go back in time, right? You could watch Earl Nightingale, you can watch Zig Ziglar, you can watch all the motivational speakers, you can watch Les Brown, you can watch all of these people. This is medicine that you have to put in your head every morning, right? Not only that, for me, I have to stay on top of what the heck is going on every day, right? And AI is moving so fast that I have to watch what's going on, right? Like, okay, what's going on, man? Like every day it's like I'll learn something new, right? So you have to learn something new. YouTube is really great for that, by the way. Do you know what I mean? Because once you start watching positive, like motivational types of video, you need to work on yourself, right? You definitely have to. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you can't watch the news, and you don't watch the news. It's brutal, dude.
I love,
Yeah,
yeah,
no.
I love so much that you're saying that because
It's like
Darryl
it's so
and I
brutal
love
now. It's
that
like the
stuff.
worst now. You want to get
Yeah. Oh
you
no,
want to
I
get
totally true.
infuriated? Watch the news. Now, watch it
I
now, man.
I
I don't care what
stopped I
side you're
stopped
on. You're gonna get
watching
pissed off. Doesn't matter
That's
I
what
so
side
true.
I
you're on. You're gonna get pissed off.
it
Nope,
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
matter.
I stopped watching the news probably about 6 years ago. Like, I'll turn it on occasionally here and there now, but, like, I just stopped. I can't
It's
watch it, and
infuriating, man. It's like it's so
I
bad.
I love that, you talk about your morning routine. Routines are so important, right? And I love how you talk about how the routine includes strengthening your mind, right? Working out your mind. We a lot of us go to the gym or we walk, or we run, or we do something to stay active, right? Because why? Because we want to work out our bodies. We want to work out our heart. We want to work our muscles, right? Why? Because that's going to be better for our health. But when is the
Mhm.
last time, I know the three of us, but when is the last time anyone else, you know, has worked out their mind? And I'm not talking about doing a math problem. I'm talking about sitting down and journaling and, asking tough questions of yourself and what do you
Right.
really want and what motivates you? And if you could do anything in this world, what would that be? What's holding you back? Right? Like, just going really deep on some of these themes.
Right.
And you'll find as you do more of that, that it's incredibly therapeutic. It leads you to awarenesses that you didn't even realize. And it's something as simple as going on YouTube,
Right.
going on Instagram, Facebook, and fixing your algorithm to positive messages. Like, if you go to my algorithm, it's airplanes, sports, and positive messages. That's it. Like, on all of my algorithms.
Good.
So that's all I want to see. That's all I want to hear. I want to just read positive stuff. I want to work on myself, work my business, and I want to help others. That's it.
That's it.
That's
And he
it.
said another key word. He said habits, right? Mark,
To
you
have
said it was a habit. You have to make it a habit because
yeah.
if you don't, it's no different than like the gym analogy. I'll go once a week and then I'll stop, or then you stop for a month and you start again. You're never going to get the results.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
That's
think
awesome
that
best
advice.
right now is I'm wondering why I'm even paying for cable TV during this conversation. Honestly, like I'm always on YouTube,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
always on it, because it's just like
The
everything's on it that I need.
Right.
the best and worst book, I think, to come out, I think, was The Secret. Right. I think it's the best book because it opened up a lot of minds to, this power of mindset and the power of visualization and then manifesting your desires. Right. The problem is that you can't just do it once in a while, and you can't just embrace positive mindset when everything is going well and everything's positive. The true test of positive mindset is when your accounts get shut down.
And just don't. But
The
that
true
the biggest problem with that, The Secret, or any positive thinking, man, you need to follow up with action. Because if you're not following up with action,
Right.
if you want to get out of a bad mood, get busy. Start. get focused and get busy. Get to work. Like get a goal and start working. Work towards your goal, and you're not going to freak out anymore. If like you don't have a
Mhm.
goal and you're not working towards something, and then they shut your accounts down, you have plenty to be worried about, right? So like you have to figure out like what are you going to do? How hard are you going to work? What's the next plan? You have got to stay busy and work, not random work, not busy work. I'm talking like you need to like have a plan. Like there were like honestly, like you guys probably already know what I'm talking about. Like being an entrepreneur is like a psychological battle, man. It's a psychological battle.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it is.
It's
Oh,
unbecoming everything that's been programmed into me,
Totally it
and
is.
also everything that I allowed to be programmed into me. So I can put the blame and say, "Oh, it was their structure, it was their training, it was that." But I also gave it power. And then I took on that persona.
Right.
And so I love what you're talking about. You are speaking everything. I mean, you are speaking our language. We absolutely love it. And I think we'll include in the show notes some other books and resources that you mentioned a few, Mark, that Darryl and I also really like that I think are important. If people are like, what else can I read? Where else can I go? We'll include some more
Yeah,
information on
just
that.
go on YouTube and look for Earl Nightingale. He's like
Yeah, he's awesome.
back in the 50s, man. But
Yep.
listen
We
to him
love
like, yeah,
him.
okay, this is the perfect.
We
yes.
love Neville. We love Neville Goddard,
Yeah,
Napoleon Hill,
yep, all of
Thomas
that.
Troward. Yeah.
Yeah, Earl Nightingale. I mean, you just go on to. I have it right on my phone.
Bob Proctor
I'm not
too
gonna
is
look at
good.
it right now.
Bob,
Bob
Oh, yeah.
Proctor. Bob
Bob
Proctor. Yep.
Proctor's awesome.
yeah, he's
Yep.
really good. But
All great. Speakers and experts on mindset.
right, but the bottom line is this, right? Like this goes back to The Secret. If you ever watch that movie again, you're not going to wish yourself into like you're not going to wish it.
No.
This is all about like that movie's like, okay, if I think this way, I'm going to win the lottery, or if like, but guess what? You need to like have positive thoughts and follow up with action, right? You have to have action. You have to put like
Always.
big action behind it, right? You have to do it. And if you're scared of something, I would like say like just do it anyway. Just do it.
I like to
I don't even
say
care anymore, man. I don't even
no,
care.
no.
I don't care
I
I
like
anymore.
love
to
that.
say
I love it.
I don't care.
when it comes to fear, what I say is that the fear of acting must be less than the fear of not acting. So yeah, you can be scared. Like there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that you have a fear of something, right?
Right.
But that fear, you got to make it to a point where that fear is less than what you're currently sitting in, what you're currently doing right now. I had someone that I was just talking to a couple days ago, and I broke it out very simply, just like that. I was doing a one-on-one call, and I said, let's pretend for a moment that, I gave it a hypothetical. I just said, let's pretend for a moment that, I wanted to hire you to help me with something. And I said, you can only do it this Saturday at 2:00. Right. That's just the only time that works. And it's only you. You have to do it. But at the same time, you have your son and your daughter, whomever, has a 2:00 sporting event. Right. Like the fear of missing that, you need to justify that because that's the reality of a bad, W-2 is like, again, you sell your soul a little bit every single time when those,
Just
those types of
funerals,
things come
man.
up.
Like I missed a funeral working at that gig, dude.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And you can
You know
never
what I
get
mean?
that
Like,
back.
honestly, like that's right. That's what I did. I sold my soul for that.
You can never
Yeah.
get that back. And I want to be very clear too. Like, I don't want to, like, we'll talk about the beauty and the benefit of working for yourself and the entrepreneurial nature. And we'll tell stories of maybe, not so great leaders and all that. But I also want to make it clear too that I would imagine, I don't even know where you were in your career on that one, Mark, but I would imagine that person has just gotten to a different level in which they have sold their soul. They have another boss that
Right.
they're reporting to, most likely. Okay. Or if they're senior executive leadership, then they're just numb to it by now, right? Oh, what do you mean a funeral? Yeah, people die all the time. Move on. Like what? Excuse me?
Exactly.
Right?
That's how
Right?
it is, yeah.
But if it's not that senior executive who doesn't quite get it, it's someone who's sitting in middle management
Yeah.
that they're selling their soul and their boss is saying, Mark has to be in work. We need Mark here leading
Right.
the BDR team. And now
Right.
that leader has to be the one to deliver to you the bad news. Mark, you ain't going to that funeral. We need you here. So it's just a bad system. It's not necessarily a bad person. It's just the system that we have built in the corporate world.
Well, so
That's
I
all
don't
it
have
is.
that problem anymore, right? Like, so, and
No, you don't.
but don't think it's all roses, right? Like, just because I'm an entrepreneur, like, don't think that I like my calendar's not packed. It is. It's packed.
Mhm.
Like, it's packed with stuff I'm doing, like, but I allow it to be packed, right? So I am in charge of the calendar, right? But I allow it to be
Right.
packed, or I allow it not to be packed.
Yep.
That's the difference,
Yep.
right? So I can put as
You
much
build
pressure on myself as I want, or like take it off as I want. That's the difference.
you
But
be,
there are times like you're working hard, and things might not go the way you want them to go, and it is what it is. But I don't want to go back to corporate, man.
and you never will.
I don't think so. That would
I
be a
know you won't.
disaster. I
I
don't
know
know.
you won't.
Yeah,
I know you won't.
yeah,
You helped Darryl. You helped Darryl in his journey,
yeah. Well, I'm doing
which
that too. Like, I'm doing that. So what has happened is now, like, all of that success I had, right, with like selling online. So this is the thing, is like success compounds itself, man. This is like something that you may have heard people say that, but like I lived it now. Like, I'm saying, wait a minute, this
Yep.
is crazy, right? Because once I started getting success and I started becoming well known in this area, you go out to events and you get awards, and people give you all types of accolades and stuff, and like prestigious awards within this uh, field, right? So when people see that, then they want you to teach them how to do it, right? And that's where the big money's made. Okay,
yeah, that's
that's where the
awesome.
big money. Like, just this week, right? I mean, like, so we have coaching packages, and I coach people. I walk them through the process, and I'm changing lives, man. Like, a lot of them. Group training, one-on-one trainings. We're doing a lot of good stuff.
How's that feel?
Feels awesome.
Yeah.
It feels awesome to get hired at a high amount of money, and it feels hot. It feels wonderful. Like, I had one guy just this like past Monday. I was just sitting here at this desk, and it happens regularly. I had like texts come over unannounced, like, "Hey, Mark, I'm ready for your $15,000 package." I was like, "So am I. I'm ready to help." So, like, we took, then we walk him through 4 months of training, and then he's off on his own. Like, this guy's corporate in his 50s, wants help, getting up and running so he can, like, make the escape, right? So we're helping a
Yep.
lot of people like that, and
And I
it's really
and
good.
I and I
Amazing.
and I love
Amazing.
I love that. Don't get me wrong. I certainly love. I'm an unapologetic capitalist, so I love that we were able to make money at this. But at the same time,
You want to
there
help people, man.
really
You just don't want to take money, man.
that's
That's
well, you can't take money.
You
Like
just
that's
can't
the
take
key,
money,
right?
man. Like, it's easy. Like, you could scam people, man. It catches up to you. You have got to, because this is what I'm trying to say, is like, like, success is compounding. Once you start helping people and they become successful, it's non-stoppable. It's
Yes.
non-stoppable
Yes.
at that point, because people
Yes.
just want to work with you, right?
Correct.
It's a
Correct.
good
So
thing.
just
Yeah.
provide every day, and I would share this with anyone listening, no matter where you are in life, but especially if you're an entrepreneur. Provide value to everybody that you meet every single day. That's the key. That's what I have found is the key. And I
Totally.
got that wrong early in my sales career. For a lot we've been talking about today, just always focused on the deal and hitting a
Mhm.
number and and making a quota, right? And you lose sight of, let me just do whatever it takes to help this person that I am speaking to, which may or may not include me.
Right, but
And
you don't wanna
and
help
to
them for free. Well, you can. The thing is, it's like, now we're like, that's fine. Um, and okay, so this is the deal, right? You want to help people, but you want to set up systems to where you're helping them at their level, right? So some people don't have 15 grand. Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
Some people don't have 25 grand to, like, for a big package for a mastermind, right? But they have 37 bucks a month, right? And we have packages there too, this
So
corporate
key.
life. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, we
Yep.
definitely have packages there. So we have uh, a full online curriculum of training at $37 a month that we have people in on. Yeah, and they go in and they take the training, and then we do a 1 hour call with them every week. All the people that are just starting out, and we're like got our little sprouts, that we're watering, and they're growing, they're growing, they're growing. Then they get flowers on them, and then they want the other type of training, the more expensive training. So we have a little community like that. Yeah, it's good.
I love it. I love it. Mark, we've talked about a ton. It's been a phenomenal episode. What are some closing thoughts that you have around, if you could give advice to, someone who was in your shoes, or, someone that is
That
on
was in my
the
shoes.
fence of, huh?
Someone that had the same experiences I did. Yeah, you gotta believe in yourself. Yeah, you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
So listen, I wasn't just like this overnight success either. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I had tried hard to start businesses before I met you, Darryl. Do you know what I mean? That didn't work
Yeah.
out. Do you know what I mean? But those types of experiences, and you don't want to look at them as losses, right? You want to look at them as learning experiences, because they are. A lot of people won't even take that next step to try to start something, right? Because they just think that, what happens if it fails? What happens if it fails, right? Well, what happens if it fails is you fail forward, right? Like you gain experience by, like, it's no such thing as failure, by the way. Don't even think of it as failure. You have to look at it as data coming back to you, what to do next, right? Like you try something, and then there's going to be some sort of a reaction or data coming back, and you're going to look at that data to and analyze it and say, well, that worked great, so I'm going to do more of that. Or, boy, that didn't work good, so I'm not going to do that again, right? So you just have got to look at it as feedback and data, not failure. Like, I tried this and I suck. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's the advice I have. You got to go out there and do it.
That's good.
And read the data that comes back to you.
Phenomenal. Mark, I feel like we just sat in a master class.
Right.
I mean, you had some phenomenal nuggets of information. I apologize for my computer's notifications. I had them turned off, so I thought. So sorry for those disturbances. No, okay, good. I heard him on my end, so I was like, oh, great. I'm breaking his flow. He's on a roll. You had such phenomenal nuggets there, and I'm incredibly excited to share this and for everyone listening. And I hope you go back and re-listen to it, because I think I will, because you have such awesome advice. Where can people find Mark?
Yeah, so you see my name underneath my face there, right? So Mark Vaudreuil. You can go to markvaudreuil.com. You can go to.
He's got his own website.
Amazing.
Just with his name. Darryl, you gonna get one too now?
I will before this episode releases. That way someone can take it.
So you want to go to markvaudreuil.com, and then you want to go to. Then you can go to school. You guys know school? SKOOL. Yep. Go to school.
Sure do.
If you guys want to be part of the $37 per month training, if you guys are interested in making money online, you can go to school.com and look for Profit Avengers. That's who we are.
Awesome.
I have a partner that I work with Profit Avengers. His name is Ross Minchev. He's in Romania, and I met him in Las Vegas, and now we're crushing it, dude. Right? So he's great. And some of you guys might even know Ross. If you watch YouTube, you might know Ross Minchev. He's a partner of mine. Or you can go to saasequity.com. You can find me at SaaS Equity, SAAS equity.com. All three of those places.
He's everywhere, folks. Fantastic, Mark. Thank you so very much. Darryl, thank you for meeting Mark. And Mark, thank you for meeting Darryl, because I honestly, this is my last final thought on this, which is so cool. And Mark, you actually brought it up before when we were all chatting. I wouldn't be here if you guys didn't have the relationship that
correct.
you did.
That's exactly right.
I think that's so phenomenal that you just don't know how you're going to impact somebody even years down the road.
Right.
So I'm really grateful for that.
I have one question.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Darryl, when are we going to win again?
Oh, we got to win. We got to win again. We got to win again. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we got to win.
So for those, because right now that's an inside joke for me and Mark. And so Mark and I, in our one of our past jobs, we worked near a Chinese food restaurant that had the lunch buffet. And I would say to Mark, I am only going to the lunch buffet if we beat the house. So like
Oh,
you
we
pay
do
your
all the time.
$15, your $20. Like, we're not going there and having a couple egg rolls. All right, we're gonna go there and we're gonna win. We're gonna take down the house. So
Fantastic.
we are overdue on a Chinese lunch buffet, you and I, Mark.
All
And
right,
yes,
man.
we need to go win.
All right, guys. Hey,
Awesome.
stay in touch.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much,
much.
Mark.
Really appreciate the conversation. I'm sure we'll have you on again. This
All
was
right.
great stuff.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'd love to hear your story on how you quit the quota. So please reach out so we can feature your story.